Imagine a realm where Eastern philosophy, neuroscience, and quantum reality convene. A place where the wisdom of ancient sages intermingles with the breakthroughs of modern science. This is no mere flight of fancy, but a fascinating intersection of distinct yet interrelated fields of study. Let's first take a brief glimpse at these three fields. Eastern philosophy, a rich tapestry of thought extending back thousands of years, offers profound insights into the nature of existence, particularly the concept of the self. Neuroscience, a relatively young field, seeks to unravel the mysteries of the brain and, by extension, our sense of self. And then there's quantum reality, the realm of the incredibly small, where particles behave in ways that defy our everyday understanding of the world. Now, what makes this intersection truly intriguing is the theme of the illusory self. Both the Eastern philosophical traditions and modern neuroscience suggest that the self is not a static, unchanging entity, but rather a fluid, ever-evolving process. A process shaped by a multitude of factors, from our biological makeup to our cultural milieu, and even, as some suggest, the strange world of quantum physics. This concept of the self challenges our deepest held assumptions, inviting us to question who we truly are. Are we merely the sum of our thoughts, experiences, and perceptions? Or is there more to our self than meets the eye? Is our sense of self a mere illusion, a construct of our brains? Or does it hold deeper, more profound truths about the nature of reality? As we journey through this mystical intersection, we'll delve into these questions and more, seeking to illuminate the enigmatic concept of the self from multiple perspectives. We'll explore how Eastern philosophy, neuroscience, and quantum reality each offer unique insights into the nature of the self, yet also converge in fascinating and unexpected ways. Dive with us into this fascinating exploration, where ancient wisdom and modern science intertwine. Eastern sages have long spoken of the non-self, a concept that challenges our traditional understanding of identity. This revolutionary idea, found in the heart of Eastern philosophies such as Buddhism and Hinduism, invites us into a fascinating exploration of the self. In Buddhism, the doctrine of anatta, or non-self, proposes that there is no unchanging, permanent self, soul, or essence in living beings. It's a profound perspective that shatters our conventional view of identity. Instead of a solid, unchanging entity, the self is seen as a constantly changing stream of consciousness, a series of mental and physical phenomena that arise and pass away in quick succession, giving the illusion of continuity and solidity. Similarly, in Hindu philosophy, the concept of Atman presents the notion of the ultimate self. At first glance, this may seem at odds with Buddhism's non-self. However, if we delve deeper, we find that Atman doesn't refer to the ego or the individual self that we commonly identify with. Instead, it points to a universal self, a boundless, timeless reality that pervades all existence, transcending our individual identities. Both these philosophies highlight the idea of the self as empty and impermanent. They invite us to see beyond our everyday identities, to realize that who we think we are is, in fact, a fleeting, transient phenomenon, shaped by an intricate interplay of countless factors. These concepts, while thousands of years old, are not archaic relics of the past. They are alive, vibrantly relevant, and as we'll discover in our journey, they resonate powerfully with some of the most cutting-edge theories in contemporary science. As we'll see, these ancient perspectives echo in the halls of contemporary science. In the realm of neuroscience, the self emerges not as a static entity, but as an ever-changing process. From the perspective of neuroscience, our sense of self is a complex orchestration of brain activity. It's a symphony of synaptic connections, an intricate dance of neurons firing and rewiring, each note contributing to the melody of our identity. The brain, in its infinite complexity, constructs our perception of self from a myriad of sensory inputs, memories, and experiences. Imagine your brain as an artist painting a portrait of you. Every stroke of the brush, every blend of color, every shadow and highlight is informed by the sensory data collected by your body. The scent of the morning coffee, the sound of your favorite song, the touch of a loved one's hand, all of these experiences are woven into the tapestry of your selfhood. But this portrait is not fixed. It's dynamic, fluid, ever-evolving. Just as an artist revisits their canvas, adding new strokes, adjusting colors, your brain continually revises your self-portrait based on new experiences and information. This is the malleability of self, a concept that neuroscience has begun to explore. Studies have shown that our perception of self can be manipulated. Through techniques like virtual reality and hypnosis, researchers have been able to create sensations of body swapping or out-of-body experiences. These experiments demonstrate that our perception of self is not rigid but can be reshaped and even displaced. What's more intriguing is that these findings echo the wisdom of the East. The notion of the self as a fluid, ever-changing entity aligns seamlessly with Eastern philosophical teachings. The Buddhist concept of anatta, or non-self, posits that the self is not a fixed, enduring entity, but a constantly changing process devoid of inherent essence. Our neuroscience, it seems, is beginning to catch up with ancient wisdom. It's a dance of discovery where the rhythm of scientific inquiry moves in harmony with the melody of philosophical insight. These findings, it seems, dance in harmony with the rhythm of Eastern philosophy. Quantum reality, with its counterintuitive and often bewildering principles, offers yet another perspective on the self. In the quantum world, particles exist in a state of superposition. They are not confined to a single location or state until observed. Instead, they exist in all possible states at once. Imagine if we applied this principle to our sense of self. Are we not like quantum particles, a multitude of possibilities, potentialities, and identities all coexisting, waiting for observation to collapse us into a single state of being? Then we have quantum entanglement, a phenomenon where particles become intertwined, their states directly affecting each other, regardless of the distance between them. This suggests a deep, fundamental interconnectivity that transcends physical space. It's a concept that resonates with the Eastern philosophical notion of non-self, where the boundaries of individuality are seen as illusionary and everything is interconnected. But perhaps the most intriguing quantum principle when considering the nature of self is non-locality. In quantum physics, non-locality refers to the ability of particles to instantly affect each other's states, no matter how far apart they are. Could this principle hint at a non-local nature of consciousness? Some theorists propose that consciousness is not confined to the brain or body, but is a fundamental aspect of the universe, interconnected across space and time, just like quantum particles. Could our consciousness be non-local, existing everywhere and nowhere at once until observed or experienced? As we delve deeper into the rabbit hole of quantum reality, we find that our understanding of the self becomes less about the physical and more about the non-physical, less about the individual and more about the interconnected. In this quantum view, the boundaries of the self become even more blurred. We are not merely observers of the universe, but active participants in its unfolding quantum symphony. We are, in essence, the universe experiencing itself. As we traverse these distinct yet intertwined landscapes, a grand convergence begins to take form. We're not talking about a casual encounter at the crossroads, but rather a symphony of ideas resonating in harmony across the vast expanse of human understanding. Eastern philosophy, with its profound insights into the non-self, appears not as an archaic relic, but as a visionary pioneer. It dared to challenge the basic premise of a permanent, independent self long before modern science began to question this assumption. Neuroscience, the young whippersnapper of the three, brings to the table a wealth of empirical data. It paints a picture of the self not as a singular entity, but as an aggregative process, shaped by a myriad of biological and cultural factors. It may not have all the answers, but it certainly knows how to ask the right questions. Then there's quantum reality, the enigmatic stranger, elusive yet alluring. It spins tales of particles existing in multiple states of entanglement across vast distances of a reality that is fundamentally probabilistic. It may seem far removed from the contemplative inquiries of Eastern sages, yet it echoes the same message that the self is not what it appears to be. These three fields, disparate as they may seem, are playing the same tune. They're dancing to the same rhythm, each in their own unique way. They're converging on a similar understanding of the self, one that is fluid, interconnected, and permeated with mystery. But this grand convergence is just the beginning. It's the opening act of a much larger performance, one that we're all a part of. It's an invitation to question, to explore, to delve deeper into the enigma of consciousness. Share your thoughts and questions in the comments. Unravel this mystery with us as we continue to explore the fascinating intersections of philosophy and science.